Hi everyone, Alex with Tucker USA. And in this video we're going to discuss the Tucker 4060 cart, walking you through it and getting it ready for its first use. The Tucker 4060 RODI cart is considered a four-stage system. Water will first come into your carbon, which will then go into two RO membranes, then followed lastly by your DI. When you first get it, you're going to need to flush out your carbon, followed by flushing out your RO membranes before you clean any windows or solar panels. To do that, you're going to lay the system down. All our ports are on the bottom of the cart. Make sure I get this in view. So here you can see that you have your bypass. This is where the wastewater comes out of your RO membrane. Here's where you're going to stick your water source, your garden hose in. And then this is your output. This is where the pure water comes out of the system, and you can hook this up to a reel or directly to your pole. It's very important when you have all this set up that you do not put your pole tubing or your hose reel connected to the bypass. It's an easy thing to do, but we want to ensure that you stick it to the output. Along with your system, you'll get several box of accessories. The main ones we're looking at is going to be your waste hose, TDS meter to make sure you're having pure water coming out, and of course your owner's manual. Highly suggest going over before you actually get ready to use the system. Before we flush out a carbon, you might just want to go ahead and hook this up to get ready to flush out your RO membrane. So you're going to take a garden hose connected to the inlet of the system, and we suggest anywhere from a 5/8 to a 3/4 inch garden hose. This is your carbon. On the top of it there is actually a plug. This helps to remind you that you need to flush this out. The reason why you want to flush out, this is basically loose carbon in there, and so initially you're going to have, when you have water go through it, it's going to come out black, and we don't want to send that to the RO. So take the plug out, you're going to connect your hose, turn it on, and you're going to flush this out for 5 minutes. And in that time you'll notice that the water will come out black, and by the end of that you'll have clear water. Once you do that, you'll be ready to flush out your membrane. So what you can do is shut off the water at the water source, come back to the unit, turn this up so you can see. This is where that plug was. You're simply going to connect your fittings here. This will then send the water through the carbon and then down to this hose, which goes into your RO membranes. Next, after that, you're going to want to ensure that your bypass valve for your RO membranes is completely open, and your initial setup, you're going to flush this out for 15 minutes. So once again, put this back down. I'm going to turn your water source on, and it's going to then go from the carbon into your RO, and it's going to come out your waste line. And like I said, you'll run that for 15 minutes. And once that is done, simply turn the valve off. And what you notice, you'll still have a small amount of wastewater coming out. That's perfectly fine. It's going to be like a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 gallon of pure, 1 gallon of wastewater, and this helps regulate your system. This is a reminder that that's just on your initial setup. You're not going to have to flush out your carbon every time you use it. Only when your initial setup and every time you replace your carbon filter. With the bypass valve, your initial setup is 15 minutes, but following, before and after each job, you're going to want to open up your bypass valve and get rid of that wastewater. The manual talks about, says about 4 to 5 minutes. Next, we want to showcase whenever you need to change your filters, especially your DI. That is based on the incoming water source and how high that is, and how often you're using the system. So what we're looking for is when you get your TDS meter and you're running water all the way through your system, you can fill it up in your cap, get a reading. 10 parts per million is when we suggest changing out your DI cartridge, and that's because at 10 parts per million you can start seeing spotting on your windows. To do that, you simply just need to pop off the fitting there, take your wrench, you're simply going to loosen up and remove one side. Carefully take that off. Open that up. You take your spent cartridge and replace it with a new one, or you have the option of buying a refillable container and bulk resin. Once you've replaced that, put that back on. Slide this back on and reinstall your plant. So as mentioned, go on, plug that back in. So as mentioned, you're going to change this out of 10 parts per million. The carbon is really a long-lasting carbon filter. Roughly, you can expect to get around 80,000 gallons of filtration, or minimally, as stated in our manual, to make sure you stay within warranty. It's to be changed out minimally at 6 months. So this is your walkthrough of your 4060 RODI cart. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at 303-663-1779 or shoot us a message at tuckerusa.com.